Good morning, my name is Zully. This is Isaac, Victoria, and Edward, and we're going to be talking about the cost of living for students here in Santa Barbara.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edward. So according to Business Insider, in the 1950s, the average hourly wage was 75 cents. That means somebody working an average of 40 hours a week was making approximately $120 a month. That doesn't sound like much, but when you consider that that a gallon of gas was approximately 1/4, a movie ticket was 48 cents, and a month's rent was $42, to put that in perspective, $120 in today's money will get you exactly one T84 calculator off Amazon. Alright, so as residents of Santa Barbara, we can all speak in regards to the high price of living here in Santa Barbara. So the average income in Santa Barbara does not provide enough economic capital for a person to live in the city successfully. According to the Department of Industrial Relations, the minimum wage in California is currently $11. The average person in the United States working 40 hours a week can expect to work roughly 2,087 hours a year. A person working at minimum wage can expect to make only $22,957 a year. So Santa Barbara, due to its beautiful climate, is a big tourist destination and has an influx of visitors, which fuels the restaurant business, shopping industry, and bar scene. And U.S. News estimates that approximately 23,600 people are employed by various retail and food employers here in the city. So these jobs are being filled primarily by college students and people of lower education, just because the requirements for employment are a little bit lower than other things. So a student taking 12 credits is expected to spend a total of 36 hours outside of school studying. In an ideal world, it seems simple to add an additional 40 hours of work a week. However, when you take into account the amount of time you need to spend commuting, eating, sleeping, it's pretty much impossible. So with that being said, Zully will give you a better idea of exactly how people are spending their money in regards to housing.
Everybody knows the average cost of living in Santa Barbara. One bedroom, or what consists of a one bedroom with a full kitchen, full bathroom, and separate bedroom, would be at around $1,600 to up to $4,000 a month. This is based off Craigslist on September 27th. Now, for $1,600 a month, a college student will only be making around $2,000 if at most. The income does not meet the requirements that the housing providers are looking for. Some of those requirements are 3 times the rent, which for a $1,600 apartment, 3 times the rent would be $4,800 a month. Now that's just too overly exaggerated for a student working 40 hours a week and 12 units per semester. They also require good credit and employment stability. Now a college student doesn't really have much of an employment stability. People are looking for 2-year minimum at an employment, and that's just not realistic. They also, most of the companies require co-signers, but if you're a college student, you need to have a co-signer or somebody to vouch for you in any situation. However, for most of their ads, at the bottom it says no co-signers accepted, and they're just making it really complicated for students to rent out of their places. A lot of the places that are also renting on Craigslist currently are up to $1,800 a month. And these are places that are single occupancy, or they're places that don't have a kitchen. Now, for simple survival needs, you need a kitchen, you need somewhere that you can eat, you can sleep, you need a full-on one-bedroom apartment in order to live. There's also a discrimination for people who are under the age of 25 that don't have the stable job that they're looking for. They wouldn't rent them out for the same reason that you can't get a co-signer, you can't get anybody to vouch for you because they're not accepting any of that. Now, I'm going to pass it on to Victoria, who is going to be talking to you about other prices of living here in Santa Barbara.
Not only does rent make a student uncomfortable living-wise in Santa Barbara, but also the necessities like groceries, transportation, utilities, childcare, if you have a child, and restaurants. Roughly for a student, to go grocery shopping for the month, it's $200. And if you go out to eat, a 3-course meal for 2 people, for example, if you go to Sandbar on State Street, can be $70 roughly for 2 people. An inexpensive restaurant for 1 person, like South Coast Deli, can be around $18 for 1 person. And if you're on a budget, you go to McDonald's, and it could be $8 each person. According to College Supply, or College Simply, California residents to attend SBCC pay $18,000 in tuition, $1,680 in books, and supplies and other fees around $86. For out-of-state residents, tuition can be $24,956, and which is also 30.6 higher than in-state students. For books for international students can be around $1,680, and other fees can also be around $86, including health fees, bus transportation, and other costs that the SBC or UCSB requires you to have while enrolled at the school. So I'm going to present Isaac, and he is going to talk about why we chose this topic and inform you more on the living in Santa Barbara and give you the rebound on it.
So the reason why we wanted to bring forth this issue is because it affects many of us living in Santa Barbara, especially students. According to Santa Barbara independent journalist Jean Yamamura, UCSB asked 1,083 students if they were homeless, and 96 of them answered yes in 2014. Moreover, Yamamura continues to provide even more information by providing an SBCC survey that was also taken in 2014, where 1,087 students were accounted for and 36 said they had no permanent home, while 16 of them stated they were homeless. Yamamura adds to that by explaining that the data obtained by both surveys means that the amount of students struggling with homelessness could be in the thousands, since an average of 22,000 students over the past 5 years have been at UCSB, while about 30,000 were accounted for at SBCC in 2013 through 2014. The number of homeless students has probably quadrupled over time as Santa Barbara has become a more expensive place to live. Within another article by Cal Matters journalist Felicia Mello from April 2018, UCSB junior Spencer Bratt explained that his landlord knows that 8 people are living with him in a little blue apartment, but it can be anywhere from about 10 to 13 jammed in 1 garage and 2 bedrooms. Bratt explains that some of the people are friends, additional subleasers, and some are experiencing homelessness. Ultimately, students are having a difficult time adjusting to the expensive costs of living in Santa Barbara. It is sad to think that a lot of students live like Brad, since rent is so expensive, or resort to living in their cars. In conclusion, Santa Barbara is a lovely place to live in, surrounded by beaches and booming nightlife. However, when it comes to expenses, it is unforgiving, and many students struggle to manage their bank accounts as school housing and necessities demand top dollar. The only thing we can do as citizens of Santa Barbara is to reach out and help those in need in order to reflect the fact that the true beauty of Santa Barbara lies within its people. Thank you.